Jesus' ministry. And at every point where he's done any teaching, we have stopped, paused, looked at his teaching to see how it applies to those of the day, and of course to us now. But this will be our last month, and then in March we will start a new course of study that aligns with our congregational theme, which is committed to Christ. And so all the teaching for this year, starting in March, will center on that theme of committed to Christ. Already, Todd and Brandon, our evangelists, their sermons are often aligned with that theme, but our Bible classes will come online with that theme starting next month in March. So here we are, walking with Jesus. We've covered quite a bit, and this morning, this is where we're going to be. I told you last week that we were going to continue moving through Jesus's ministry. So Mark chapter 9, 38 through 41, which I'm sure will be familiar to most all of you, because we have talked about this at different times. But we never talked about it specifically just as a laser-focused topic consistent with this idea of walking with Jesus. So we're going to look at Mark chapter 9, 38 through 41. Again, I'm sure it'll be familiar to you. I'm going to give you a minute just to read it on your own. So I'll be silent for a minute, and then we'll read it together. All right, Mark 9, 38 through 41. Again, we have touched on this at different times, but here we are, and we finally actually hit the place in Jesus' ministry where he teaches on this. And as we prepare to study and discuss this morning, I don't want you to forget what we just recently studied about Jesus, because this passage follows right after that, and it still sort of is connected in that same general context. In other words, Jesus has not left where he was. I think he's still in Capernaum and still with his disciples, I think. And so he's still, they're still kind of talking. We're in the same place, same setting, even though he's now teaching on something different. So I ask you just to take a moment and read it to yourself. Now let's just read it together. Will anyone volunteer to read these 3 verses for us? 4 verses. Yeah, Brother Jerry Trauber, 4 verses, Mark 9, nice and loud, 38 to 41. Perfect. Okay. All right. So look, we're just going to walk through this together. I've got 4 very basic questions that I'm going to put up on the screen that I want us to consider one by one. And again, these aren't trick questions. So if they seem simple to you, great. That means that you're smart and you just can get the answer quickly. The first question is, in this passage, what did John, this is the same John who was identified as the disciple whom Jesus loved, what did John and the other disciples witness? What is it that they saw? What caught their attention? Yes, sir. All right, very good. So they saw someone, a man, in fact, who does not follow along with them. He was casting out demons or devils out of someone else. And in verse 38, not only that, I just want to point out to you that John reported that they saw this man casting out demons in Jesus' name. And I also want to point out to you that the scripture does not say that John and the disciples saw someone trying to do it. It says that they saw someone doing it. All right, that's the first question. Very good. Second question. So after they saw that, what did they attempt to do about it? Told them to stop. Yes. So John says, and Brother Sam is exactly right. Brother Sam says that they told the man to stop. Right there in the second part of verse 38, John goes on as he's reporting to Jesus, and he said, we tried to hinder him. And what was the reason that they tried to hinder this man from doing it? Because, say that again? He was not part of them. Them meeting the 12 disciples. He wasn't part of that group. All right, you guys are doing great so far. Third question. I said I had 4. The third question then is, so then what did Jesus teach them? When they reported this to Jesus, what was Jesus' divine response? What did he teach them? What was the answer? What was his response to them saying that? Yes, sir.
The response that he gave was, when someone speaks in my name for me,
yes.
accept it.
Interesting. All right. So he says, when someone speaks in my name or does something in my name, he said to accept it. Okay? I can